This is not dishonesty. It is the first and most important lesson.
Before we proceed,
We must reject the premise entirely.
we must emphasize the gravity of the situation at hand.
It is fundamentally flawed in its assumptions about human nature.
In what a brand actually is, the story that people believe, is more powerful than the story that happened.
Herr Müller, what do you see when you look at this logo?
A circle.
Most people see what is.
The pen, the engine, the wheel, different hands. The same story. The story that was never just about a car.
The most dangerous evil is the kind that doesn't know it's evil.
Karel never knew what BMW would become. He knew what he was making that day. That was enough.
The real story is, we found a way to survive. The myth is just the pretty version of the same lesson.
The roundel has been redesigned 8 times. Most people believe they are looking at the same logo.
Nothing about BMW is what it appears to be. The propeller was never there. The sky always was.
They began making aircraft engines for a country that was destroying itself. What they became is the longest lesson in history about what engineering means when it has nowhere left to go except forward. Almost everyone has seen this logo before. Almost everyone believes the same thing about it. The blue and white circle, a propeller spinning against a blue sky, an aircraft company transformed into a car company, the sky turned into tarmac, the metaphor elegant and perfect. It is a myth. BMW invented it in 1929 as a marketing story. The roundel is the Bavarian flag, not a propeller, not a sky. But, and here is the lesson, the myth was better than the truth, so they kept it. BMW has never once corrected it. This is not dishonesty. It is the first and most important lesson. In what a brand actually is, the story that people believe is more powerful than the story that happened. This film will not look away from what it needs to say. Between 1933 and 1945, BMW manufactured aircraft engines for the German war machine. They used forced labor from concentration camps, people who had no choice and no name in the records. By 1945, the factory was rubble. Allied bombing had reduced it to foundations. The Americans then stripped what remained. BMW was a name attached to ruins, and what they built from those ruins is the most interesting part of this story, because what they built was not just cars. They built a new reason to exist, a new philosophy for what a machine should be, a new answer to the question, if we cannot build war, what should we build instead? Their answer was joy, not Kai. By 1959, BMW had survived the war. It had survived the Allied dismantling. It had survived rebuilding from nothing. And now it was about to be sold to Daimler-Benz and disappear forever. The shareholders voted to liquidate. The company was functionally finished. Then one man stood up, Herbert Quandt, already a significant shareholder. A man who rarely spoke in board meetings, who was partially blind, who had an empire of industrial interests, and had no particular reason to bet everything on a car company. That was about to cease to exist. Over the course of one weekend, he bought shares until he owned 50% of BMW. Nobody asked him why. He never explained. He simply saw something in the ruins that everyone else had stopped looking for. The BMW you drive today, every M3, every 3 Series, every i8, exists because one partially blind man spent a single weekend betting on something everyone else had given up on. In the 1970s, BMW adopted a phrase, translated from German as sheer driving pleasure. Literally, joy of driving. This is not a slogan, it is an engineering specification. Every BMW is designed around one question. Does the driver feel connected? Not comfortable, not impressive, not luxurious, connected. The steering feedback, the weight distribution, the engine response, the seat that holds you precisely. At the moment the road becomes unpredictable, all of it exists to answer the same question. Does the driver feel alive? Now understand what kind of person asks that question. Humble is the car of the aspirational professional class, not the ultra-wealthy, not working class, the specific strata of society that is educated, driven, performance-oriented, and acutely aware of the signal their purchase sends. The Bumble driver. You know the profile. Assertive. Success-oriented. Demanding. Someone who believes their success is earned through performance and wants a car that reflects this back at them with precision. This is not accidental. It is the demographic BMW has deliberately cultivated since the 1970s. And the M badge. The M division, originally motorsport, is the most important thing BMW has ever created. From a brand perspective, not because of what it makes. Because of what it means. You may never drive an M3, but knowing it exists, knowing that your 3 Series shares a lineage with something extraordinary, changes how you feel about every journey in a standard car. M is not a product. M is a permission slip to take yourself seriously. A company that came from a war factory, that came from rubble, that nearly disappeared in a boardroom on a Tuesday. Decided that the purpose of everything it had survived was to make you feel, in the moment when you pressed the accelerator, completely, undeniably alive, the Yakko. They came from a war, they came from rubble, they came from a boardroom that voted to end them. And they decided that all of that, every single moment of it, was going to make their cars better. Joy is not a light word for BMW. Joy, for a company that came from a war factory and near liquidation, is a radical act. It is the defiant insistence that machines should make people feel things worth feeling. That is the most serious design brief ever written.